how to stop a midlife crisis and how to beat midlife depression. I'm LD Juarez and I'm your sparkle coach. That's what we're talking about today, honey, because it's important. It is so important because how many times have you seen people go out of character? All of a sudden in midlife, they go out, buy a sports car, they're changing their clothes all out wild and doing these things. And I'm not saying any of that is bad, but what I'm saying is if you are going out and doing those things to avoid the reason why you're feeling like you're in crisis or having midlife depression, it doesn't help anything and it makes life worse later. So I'm all for having happy, wonderful things, and I love hot rods and all that stuff, but I'm also for, let's not use that to try to cover up pain, because we all know what happens when we try to cover up pain with anything. It doesn't fix it. It doesn't resolve the pain at all. One iota just makes it worse later because more things compound on it. Yuck. We don't want to deal with that anymore. Okay, I've got so many notes, so excuse me if I look down. I just want to make sure I share everything. So, what leads up to midlife crisis? What happens? What causes that? So in a lot of people, I've been talking to a couple of people recently who happen to be women, but this happens in everyone, it seems like, who goes through this midlife depression. They feel like they've lost focus, they've lost meaning. They're like, what's the point? Why am I here? What is my purpose in life? They don't even know what they like anymore. Things that used to be exciting aren't. Maybe they're having empty nest syndrome and then they realize here they are with themselves. Like, especially if you're someone who gave your best to everybody for decades of your life, you gave of yourself and you thought, I'm going to be fulfilled giving of myself to these people. But did you do it to the detriment of yourself? That's the problem. And a lot of people do that. Sadly, my mom did that. She's been in heaven a long time, but she did that and she was so depressed. And at the end of her life, I learned so many things about her, and that was one of them. So it's part of why it's my passion to help people through these things, because depression is a freaking bully and it doesn't allow you to live your life in a fulfilled way. And you know what? It's not selfish to want to live fulfilled. It's not. And being a people-pleasing doormat is not good. And you really have to nurture yourself while you're nurturing other people, nurturing your kids, nurturing your spouse, nurturing your friends, family, being a good employee. You have to nurture yourself, or else eventually it's going to burn out or it's going to come to a head and you're going to end up feeling so awful. So we want to avoid that. So here is a phrase. I hate this phrase. For the record, I hate this phrase so bad, it really bothers me. Are you a victim or a victor? I hate that phrase. Why do I hate that phrase? Because I personally don't think anyone who's depressed or anyone who has really given their all for decades and decades to people to their detriment, I don't think they're a victim at all. I think they're a beautiful human being that strives so much for love and compassion and everything in their life that they forgot themselves. That's not a victim. That is a wonderful human being. They just need a little more balance, right? So that's why I hate that phrase. So to be a victor, you got to include yourself. You've got to start including yourself. Now, if you're someone who has forever spoiled your family members, your friends, or whatever, and you kind of start backing off on that, they're going to notice and they're going to be uncomfortable, but they'll get used to it. So you've got to get some of your attention and give it to yourself. So important to do that. And let's just be honest. Going out and buying a freaking sports car is not going to fix that. It's just going to be you carrying around all those issues in a fancy package. So now I'm not against fancy sports cars and I love hot rods, but I'm all for being healed, be whole, and then let those things enhance your life. Don't let it be a package for sadness or depression or whatever. Don't let it be something that's trying to compensate for things that don't feel good in you. Fix the things that don't feel good and then enjoy the hot rod, right? So anyway, and then there's another thing. a very wise woman that I love, love, love. Let's be honest, this is my sponsor I'm talking about. You guys know this. Anyways, she always says, if things are going wrong in your life, a lot of things in a lot of different areas, who is the common denominator? That's a rough one, right? That kind of gets you in the gut, stab me in the heart. But it's true. So once you know that, then you can work on healing yourself. So what's the hardest part of depression in midlife? Is it the unknown? Like, why am I feeling this way? What's going on? Or is it the knowing? And here's the thing. I think it's the knowing, because once you realize everything that you want to fix in your life, everything that needs to be healed, that is a daunting task. And it's like this wall in front of you. And then all the things are written on it that you need to fix. That is what makes it the hardest part. But take comfort in the fact that once you know all those things you need to fix, you have a direction, and that is up and over that wall. So it's much easier there. So first of all here, I want to make a disclaimer. So in this video, we're talking about avoiding a midlife crisis, dealing with things that have depressed us, dealing with things that have been accumulated over time and stuff like that. But there is depression that is caused by chemical imbalance. There are traumas in life that really require healing, along with somebody who has that expertise, like a therapist or a psychologist, something like that. So I am all for, if somebody needs those kind of healing treatments, definitely go do that. Because sometimes if you have that, all the rest of this gets fixed. So if it's a chemical imbalance, you get it figured out, all things are good. If it's a medical issue, all things are good. If it's a hardcore trauma that requires some deeper therapy, you can work through it and things will be a lot better. So I wanted to put that out there, because this video is more along the normal, like day-to-day, not the serious clinical. I just wanted to put that out there, and you can use this video along with those kind of treatments as well. Okay, so let's get back to this. So the work begins once you know what you've got to do, and you do it one thing at a time. It's like you're at this wall with all the things you got to do, and you're wearing your backpack, right? Your backpack is full of all the things you need to heal, solve, fix, remove, add in your life. And so you've got this backpack on, it's pretty heavy. And as you start with the bottom thing, one thing at a time, going up this wall as you climb, you're also going through your backpack and you're taking out this thing that needed to be healed. Let it go. This thing that you need to get rid of in your life, it doesn't serve you anymore. Let it go. So each thing one at a time, your backpack gets lighter as your journey goes up further over that wall of the knowing what you need to do. And so you'll see you're going to get momentum. It's going to get easier and easier as you climb. So hopefully that is a good example, because that's kind of exactly what it's like. Like when you first get to the wall, it's really daunting. But once you start climbing, you got this, right? So there's comfort in that. You have a direction. You know where you're going. You know what the outcome is. Once you get over that wall, I mean, you're going to start feeling better as you climb anyway. But once you get over that wall, man, everything just opens up and you just feel so much better. So they say this is another phrase that I hate. So here we go. They say it takes more effort to be sad than it does to be happy. That phrase has pissed me off from day one, ever since I heard it. Because obviously, to me, that person had no clue what being depressed felt like. So, no, I don't agree with it all the way. So hear me out. I'm going to get to it. I can see where they're coming from, but so if you are really depressed, it is not a lot of effort to stay there. It may be more painful, but it's familiar. It doesn't take any effort to stay there at all. I just want to make that clear. And it's not something somebody chooses or anything like that. Depression is a freaking bully. So if you start working towards things, that is harder than staying in the depression, anxiety, midlife, whatever. it's harder to get moving and it's harder to stay consistent in that movement. It's very hard. So if you hear that phrase and you think, man, I must be a failure because I keep starting and stopping, I'm not doing good. No. You are making progress every time you start. And then every time you continue. So say you start working on things that you need to work on and you've got a day, you do it for a day. And then the next day you're back on the couch eating popcorn, feeling depressed. It happens. Then you start over the next day and then you got 2 days in a row. Oh my gosh. So it is a process and it is difficult if it is something that you're not used to. So don't let anyone tell you that it's easier to be happy instantly like that. No, it isn't. But here's where I do agree with it. So if you continue on working on these things and you're more and more consistent and that 1 day a month has turned into 1 week a month and then 2 weeks a month. And now you might have 1 bad day a month and then the rest you're doing so good and you're feeling lighter. Your backpack's almost empty. You're doing great, right? You're almost at the top. Then it's easier to be happy because you know what it feels like. So that's my take on that phrase. I don't know. So that's our goal. We want to get to the point where it does feel like it takes less effort to be happy. That's awesome. But we are where we are. Everybody is at their level that they're at for a reason. There's lessons there for everybody. Everybody has their own path in life. So don't feel bad for where you are and know that you can always do better. Always. You can. You deserve it. You're sparkly. You're beautiful. So yeah. So to start on those things, I always say, follow your gut. And there's a really important reason for that because opportunities come your way anyway. Have you ever noticed that? Over this time, especially if you've been giving and giving and giving to everyone else, you'll get an opportunity come your way and you're not ready for it. So you either let it go or you take it and it doesn't work out. You learn something from it or whatever. This is why it's important to listen to your gut. So when you first start on this process, your intuition is going to see all these things you need to do, but the first things first is going to be what you start with. It may seem like logically getting a new job is more important, but your gut and your intuition is saying, no, you got to work on body confidence, or you've got to work on your health, or you've got to work on whatever it is. And it may not, I've said this in other videos, but it may not seem like it makes sense. Follow it, because guess what? That is a stepping stone. That is, as you're going along the path, that's the little stepping stone that gets you to the next one. So say it's work on your health. So, okay, you didn't go for the new job. You started working on your health instead. Then, however long down the road, this opportunity comes that would require you to be healthy, to have that stamina. So listening to your guidance prepared you for that opportunity that came along. So here you are, you're feeling healthy, you're doing good, you've improved your numbers, everything's great. Here's this opportunity that requires the stamina. So then your gut tells you, okay, now I've got to work on this next step. Work on that next step because the next opportunity coming your way requires it. So in my experience, that's what's happened. So if you do it that way, you don't have to miss any more opportunities. And also, there's not as many of those moments where they're learning their lessons. They're actually more stepping stones. They're stepping stones anyway, but let's face it, I don't like to try for something and fail. I mean, failure is lessons, but come on. At midlife, aren't we tired of all the freaking lessons? Don't we want to enjoy life and feel like we're accomplishing and we're successful and we feel good? Yes. So there's that. So that is how you get through midlife depression. That is how you avoid midlife crisis. So once you've gone up and over that wall, your backpack is empty of all the crap. You don't even need the backpack anymore. Donate it. You're over that wall. You are sparkling, happy, free, whole, feeling light and wonderful. Then you can go out and get that freaking sports car, honey, because it's enhancing you. It's not covering you. How's that? What do you think? Okay, I hope that there has been a lot of useful information in this. And I would tell you about my own midlife stuff, but maybe another day. So I hope you all have a wonderful day. Wednesday's video, you're going to laugh because you'll see. You'll see. I recorded it in a different location. Anywho, so hit like, subscribe, please, and hit the notification bell so you see when new videos are added. Please comment, and I just adore you. So help me to increase my subscribership because I really want to change my URL, and I can't until I have like, I don't know, is it 100 or 1,000? Anyway, I'm so grateful for all of you that have been here since day one. You are amazing. Thank you for all of you that really support my channel, support me, and send me those messages and help me to know what you're going through and what you would like talked about, because it really helps me keep these videos going. So keep sparkling, and I will see you Wednesday.